Selamat pagi, selamat bergabung bersama kami dalam acara Digital Healthcare Skills for the Future. Acara ini merupakan kolaborasi antara IACEPA, ECP Katalis, dan Asosiasi Telemedisin Indonesia atau ATENSI. Nama saya Clarice Campbell dan saya akan memandu acara di pagi hari ini. Good morning. Thank you for joining us in Digital Healthcare Skills for the Future. This event is a collaboration between the IACEPA, ECP Katalis, and the Indonesian Telemedics Association, or ATENSI. My name is Clarice Campbell, Lead Advisor for Skills at Katalis, and I will be your host today. This dialogue will be presented in both English and Indonesian. So at the bottom of the screen, you should be able to see an interpretation button. If you require this service, please click on the button and select your preferred language. As this is a webinar, viewers won't be able to turn on their camera or microphone. So if you have a question for a panelist, there is a Q&A box, which you can type your question into. Please identify yourself when asking a question by writing down your name and affiliation, and make it clear who the question is directed to. Please note, this event is also being live streamed on YouTube through our channel at IACEPA ECP Katalis. Today, we have a great lineup of speakers representing the medtech space in Indonesia and Australia. We have Bapak Professor Purnawan Juwandi, Chairman of ATENSI, Bapak Dr. Niko Azari Hidayat, Lecturer at Airlangga University, Member of ATENSI's Advisory Board and founder of Vascular Indonesia. Bapak Hendra Cheong, CEO of Click Doctor, Ibu Kamini Pillay, Education Manager at the School of Nursing, and Ibu Melissa Chiarduli, Faculty Simulation Lead, both from Heartland Institute in Melbourne. We also have Ibu Amy Zhang, who is the General Manager of the Asian Growth Markets at Cochlear, and Bapak Han Zhao Zhang, who is the Education and Research Counsellor at the Australian Embassy in Jakarta. So without further ado, let's get into the session. The COVID-19 pandemic has affected healthcare systems like never before. Many in lower and middle income countries have had to adapt to healthcare platforms, Indonesia being no exception. The Indonesian Telemedics Association has been at the forefront of this exciting transformation, and we're happy to have with us Professor Purnawan Juwandi, Chairman of ATENSI, to provide opening remarks. Professor Purnawan Juwandi holds multiple senior leadership roles in the medical industry. He's actively involved in the Indonesian Medical Association, the Indonesian Nutrition Association, and the Indonesian Nutrition Institute. He holds a PhD in Urban Technological and Environmental Planning and a Master's in Public Health from the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, as well as a medical degree from the University of Indonesia. Most recently, he served as an evaluation team leader in a special task force on stunting at the Office of the Vice President of the Republic of Indonesia. Professor, good to have you with us.
Thank you. Thank you, Clarice Campbell. Good morning, everybody. Selamat pagi, teman-teman semua. Hadirin yang hadir pada kesempatan ini, mohon maaf video mungkin saya matikan untuk menghemat bandwidth ya. Oke. Jadi sorry ya, nanti saya akan buka. Baik. Sebagai ketua ATENSI, pertama saya mengucapkan terima kasih ya, kepada IACEPA ATENSI, IACEPA Katalis yang telah bekerja sama dengan kami sehingga webinar ini bisa dilaksanakan. Mudah-mudahan kita nanti berlangsung lancar sampai selesai nanti. Saya juga barangkali untuk pertama kali mengucapkan selamat kepada kita semua yang bisa hadir karena kita tetap terhindar dari pandemi COVID, baik Dari mulai bentuk yang awal sampai ke yang akhir ini Omikron Beta 2 ya. Mudah-mudahan kita akan tetap terhindar. Salah satunya juga karena webinar ini memungkinkan kita melakukan kerjasama kegiatan secara lebih aman. Pandemi ini memang memberikan kita dua muka ya. Jadi kita lihat memang Indonesia juga terkena dampak dan barangkali juga seluruh dunia sehingga banyak perusahaan juga bergulung tikar ya. Banyak pegawai menjadi tidak bisa bekerja. Tapi di sisi lain membuka wawasan baru, membuka kesempatan baru, membuka juga tata jawab baru. Dan pandemi ini adalah blessing in disguise juga buat telemedicine. Karena telemedicine mau tidak mau akan menjadi salah satu tulang punggung kesehatan dalam 2 tahun ini. Karena dia merupakan mode komunikasi pelayanan kesehatan yang jauh lebih aman baik untuk pasien maupun untuk provider. Jadi memang ini adalah saat yang tepat bagaimana kita bisa berkembang lebih pesat ke depan. Saya terima kasih kepada para panelis ya, yang akan berbicara pada kali ini. Karena memang kita ke depan memerlukan sebenarnya tidak hanya skill, ya, tapi seluruh sistem. Karena komunikasi kita akan berbeda, etika kita berbicara akan berbeda, teknologi yang ada di belakang layar juga akan berbeda. Dan ini semua memang perlu kita kuasai ya untuk ke depan supaya kita bisa lebih memanfaatkan teknologi ini untuk kepentingan pasien, untuk kepentingan juga kesehatan seluruh bangsa Indonesia. Ya. Jadi terima kasih, selamat mendengarkan dari para panelis. Thank you all. Go back to you, Clarice.
Thank you, Professor Purnawan. Now, before we get into our panel discussion, it wouldn't be a webinar, let alone an Indonesian webinar, without a mandatory photo of our speakers. So I'd kindly like to ask all of the speakers to turn on their cameras, and we're going to take 2 photos. So if we could do that now. Okay. All right. Sondang, I think you're taking the photos. So if everyone could smile, 1, 2, 3. And maybe one more. 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you, everyone. Okay. So, as we've just heard from Professor Purnawan, COVID-19 has changed the way consumers, including Indonesian consumers, think about healthcare. Increasingly, digital healthcare platforms are being seen as able and capable of delivering and enhancing the safety of healthcare. But in this sprint towards smarter healthcare, just how engaged are medical professionals in Indonesia in understanding the utilization of healthcare technology? And what does it mean to create a digital-first health experience in the Indonesian context? So now we'd like to hear from Dr. Nico Azari Hidayat. Dr. Nico is a lecturer at Airlangga University in Surabaya. He's a cardiothoracic and vascular surgeon at Airlangga University Hospital and the founder of a health startup called Vascular Indonesia. Dr. Nico, thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you, Clarice, for the introduction. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My best regards to all the panelists, all the staff that are holding this event. Allow me to share my duty today because I have to share about diagnosing Indonesia's health challenges for the future digital healthcare. So, yes, as a doctor, we should know about inspection, palpations, percussions, auscultations as one of the examinations packages to diagnose. So that's why if I mention diagnosing, I should think about that. So within my at least 7 slides only, I will describe about these things to do. Yes, next. Yeah, as a doctor, cardiothoracic and vascular surgery as my clinical major field, I need to assure the highest performance to inspection or observations on health challenges that truly correlated with other speakers, of course, about skills demands, current reality, and also for the digital healthcare future. Next. And back to speak about diagnosing Indonesia health challenges. Thanks to colleagues, our colleagues Firman Fitular and Ariano Utomo that mentioned in 2021, Indonesia claimed to be one of the global epicenters for COVID-19, perhaps because of the huge population of 270 million of people. But the fact that 5% investment for health, but it is planned to increase 9.5%, that seem to be dramatically low for a big essential country like Indonesia. Some other challenges are the chronic problems in health system, gaps in health infrastructure, the availability and quality of health workers, inequities in access to healthcare. Also, the government try to solve by digital health transformation. Maybe some of you might hear about a digital health transformation office, and each aspect to improve in healthcare system. Also mentioned as well, persistent gender disparity is also being the challenge in Indonesia. Not to mention stunting among children, anemia among women. It refers to investment, of course, for food security, high cost of treatments, and economic loss to NCD, non-communicable diseases in Indonesia, like diabetes and cardiovascular, still having the burden in Indonesia. One aspect of regulation, it refers to something that ATENSI also deals, is regulation about the telemedicine. So we need to do something about this. We need collaboration about this to create the policies and health system. Also, COVID-19 pandemic impact is not over yet. So human resource for health distribution still remains a problem. So also high dependency imported vaccines, drugs, and medical devices. Next. So when I need to do palpation, it means that I have to feel the problems. I have to touch the problem. So I try to create schema: health, problem, technology, care and services, also market. We all know 70% in Indonesia, men above 20 are smokers. It is quite a problem that maybe in the future will develop stroke, cancer, diabetes, heart diseases. Also, diarrhea, clean water still remains a problem that mentioned in some literatures in journal articles. Malaria, gastroenteritis, typhoid, paratyphoid fever, dengue. And we are also facing now technology, health products, medical devices, pharmaceuticals, and about the care and service, the ratio of doctors treating people in Indonesia, 3 doctors to 10,000 people. It's crazy when only 60% insurance, yeah, and also problem of distribution and market expenditure by 60.6 billion in 2018 US dollar, right? And the low growth for 6 years, 14.9%. So yeah, we are facing the challenges in Indonesia, yes. And slide, please. Yeah, doctors, nurses, and hospitals are the subject to deal with the challenges. So on my auscultation, my observation, we should all feel their voices, their notes. How can they balance their quantity to quality? How perform professionally in such massive workloads? Doctor, nurses, and hospital facing the industrial era, not to forget, that perhaps they were not in their college books. Moreover, when entering the entrepreneur world, for a medical person, it would not be that simple, since giving in altruism principle is a strong insight in every of them. Even sometimes, again, professionalism issue, right? Slide. That's why I try to express these at least two strategy. I mean, with ATENSI, we should collaborate on telemedicine. We should remember telemedicine is not only teleconsultation, it's also referred to telehealth, telesurgery, teleradiology, telelaboratory, and also telenursing. And one of the creative tele is one of the telehealth tourism that I also built, Medical Tourism Indonesia, mediosum.id. Is a platform of in Android, so that people in Indonesia could find the best treatment in Indonesia. Slide. And the last thing is the message to aim to partnership. We should build the telemedicine and medical tourism by collaborating with IACEPA, ECP, with ATENSI, as a comprehensive and collaboration, also cooperation. We can do HR workshop and training development, research, B2B, B2G, B2C. Thank you. I'm Niko Azari Hidayat, ATENSI Indonesia.
Thank you so much for that, Dr. Niko. I think it's important to note what's happening in Indonesia through this shift to virtual care. And of course, it's not unique to this country, but what makes it special is the process towards integrating physical and virtual ecosystems, which are differing sort of from one market to another.